Imagine waking up one morning and feeling nothing. The sun is shining through your window. The world is the same as it was yesterday, but something inside you has changed. Your favorite music doesn't move you anymore. The shows you used to binge watch feel empty. Even laughter feels hollow, like you're just going through the motions. You look around your room, your home, your life, and everything feels gray. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people feel this way every day, though few ever say it out loud. We scroll, we swipe, we chase the next distraction. But deep down, there's this quiet ache, an emptiness that no amount of entertainment seems to fill. It's a kind of invisible fatigue, where even things you used to love feel like chores. You might even catch yourself wondering, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy like everyone else seems to be? But here's the thing. This feeling isn't proof that you're broken. It's proof that something deep within you is calling for attention. And if you stay with me until the very end of this video, you're going to hear something that might completely change the way you see yourself and this season of your life. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychological minds in history, believed that this feeling of emptiness isn't a curse. It's a message. It's your inner self trying to wake you up. Jung saw that beneath the boredom, beneath the numbness, there's a deeper truth about who you are and why you feel so detached from joy right now. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not just distracted, not just entertained, but alive. So deeply present in a moment that you forgot time was even passing. For many of us, those moments are rare. Somewhere along the way, we traded that spark of wonder for routine. We became so focused on keeping up with the world, proving ourselves, surviving day-to-day life, that we stopped paying attention to what really makes life worth living. And yet, here you are, listening to this, which tells me something about you. Some part of you is searching. You wouldn't have clicked this video otherwise. Maybe you've been feeling like you're drifting through life on autopilot. Maybe you've been carrying a heaviness you can't put into words. Maybe you're quietly wondering if this is just what adulthood feels like. An endless cycle of doing things that don't move you, don't excite you, don't make you feel whole. If that's you, this is your story. Because Jung would say that this feeling of emptiness is not a dead end. It's an invitation. It's life itself whispering to you, you were made for more than this. There's a reason this video found you today. Stay with me until the very last second, because what we're going to uncover here isn't just theory, it's a mirror. By the end, you're going to see that this emptiness you feel is not a sign of failure, but the first step towards something extraordinary. Have you noticed how life has become a blur? You wake up, scroll through your phone, rush through your day, and collapse at night only to repeat it all tomorrow. Somewhere in between, you try to enjoy yourself. Maybe a show, maybe a meal, maybe a short conversation with someone you care about. But nothing seems to touch you the way it used to. It's like the joy has been drained out of life, and all you're left with is routine. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're not lazy. You're not ungrateful. What you're feeling is a symptom of something deeper, a truth Carl Jung spent his entire career trying to explain. He believed this emptiness happens when we've been living too far away from our authentic selves for too long. Think about it. We live in a world that's constantly telling us who to be, what to want, and what success looks like. From a young age, we're trained to meet expectations. Get good grades, get the right job, fit in socially, earn enough to prove our worth. You spend so much time being what others want you to be that somewhere along the line, you forget who you actually are. And that's when the world starts to feel gray, because your life is no longer being lived for you. You're playing a role. You're following a script someone else wrote, and deep down, you know it. Jung believed that when you feel this heaviness, this sense that nothing excites you anymore, it's not because you're weak or defective. It's because a part of you is trying to wake up. A quiet, buried part of your soul is saying, I'm still here. You've been ignoring me, but I'm still here. That's why distractions don't fix this feeling. You can binge watch your favorite show, go on vacation, or scroll for hours, but the numbness stays. It's because this feeling isn't meant to be silenced. It's meant to guide you. Jung saw this emptiness as a sign that your soul is craving depth, meaning, and authenticity. It's like a message from your subconscious that you've been living too long in someone else's story. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt truly yourself? Not what people expected you to be. Not what your family, friends, or society wanted from you. But you. If you can't remember, you're not alone. This is the crisis almost everyone faces at some point in life. But very few talk about it. This is why so many people stay stuck. They mistake this emptiness for depression, boredom, or just being burnt out. So they try to fix it by working harder, buying more things, or filling their calendar. But Jung would say this is like treating a fever without looking for the infection. The emptiness is not the problem. The emptiness is the signal. And here's the part you need to hear. Most people will ignore this feeling. They'll drown it out with distractions. They'll push it aside because they don't want to face what it's really saying. But if you're still watching this video right now, that tells me something important about you. You're ready to hear the truth most people are too afraid to face. So stay with me, because soon we're going to talk about a side of this emptiness that almost nobody understands. And once you see it for what it really is, your life won't feel the same again. There's a strange kind of heaviness that comes with feeling empty. It's not loud like anger or panic, it's quiet. It creeps in slowly, and before you realize it, everything feels muted. The music you used to love feels like background noise. The hobbies that once brought you joy now feel like obligations. Even conversations feel scripted, like you're reading lines you've already spoken 100 times. But this numbness isn't here to punish you. It's here to guide you. Carl Jung believed that every emotion, especially the uncomfortable ones, carries a message. And numbness, he said, is often the soul's way of saying, you've wandered too far from who you truly are. We live in a world that makes this so easy to do. There are endless distractions designed to keep us from noticing the emptiness. Scroll long enough, binge enough shows, buy enough things, and you can almost convince yourself everything is fine. But late at night when it's quiet, you feel it. That gnawing sense that you're disconnected, not just from the world, but from yourself. Jung believed that when your soul feels neglected, it sends signals. Sometimes those signals are anxiety, sadness, or dreams that disturb you. Other times it's this deep sense of boredom, as if life has been drained of color. This isn't because you're weak, it's because you're human. And if you're feeling this way, it means something in you is still alive enough to know there's more to life than this gray routine. You might not realize it now, but the fact that you're feeling empty could mean you're standing at the doorway of something bigger than you've ever known. Jung saw this emptiness as a threshold, a point in life where the self begins to rebel against the version of you that's been performing for the world. The job title, the persona, the mask you've been wearing, they've all kept you safe, but they've also kept you from yourself. What if the boredom isn't a sign of failure, but a sign of potential? What if your soul is demanding your attention because it knows something has to change? I want to pause here and ask you something important. Have you felt this before? This heaviness, this quiet ache that makes everything feel flat? If you have, I'd like you to share it in the comments. Not because I want engagement, but because someone else watching this right now might be feeling the same thing, and your words could make them feel less alone. There's something powerful about realizing you're not the only one going through this. Too many people think they're broken when they feel empty, but this isn't brokenness, it's awakening. It's the soul whispering that you were never meant to live your life on autopilot. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. It's not easy, it's not quick, and it's definitely not comfortable, but it's real. And if you've been feeling like nothing is fun anymore, it's because you've outgrown the surface-level life you were handed. Something deeper is calling you. That's why this feeling isn't here to be ignored or numbed. It's here to be understood. And if you've made it this far in this video, that tells me something. You're not someone who wants to stay asleep. You're here because you're searching for more. and that search is the very first step toward getting your life back. There's a kind of exhaustion that goes deeper than tiredness. It's the exhaustion of living a life that doesn't feel like yours. You wake up each morning, put on your normal face, and go through the motions. You smile when you're supposed to. You laugh at the right moments. You nod along in conversations that feel empty, and nobody sees it, the way you've been carrying this quiet ache inside you for so long. Carl Jung spent his life studying this feeling. He believed that what we call boredom, emptiness, or even depression isn't always a sickness to be cured. It's often a message. And the message is this: you've been living a life that doesn't reflect your soul. Think back for a moment. When was the last time you felt deeply alive? Maybe it was when you were a child, running barefoot through the grass with no thought of who was watching. Maybe it was the first time you picked up a pencil and drew something, or played an instrument, or wrote a story. Maybe it was the last time you felt that thrill of being so absorbed in something that you forgot about yourself completely. Somewhere along the way, life replaced that magic with obligations. You started chasing grades, jobs, relationships, and approval. You learned how to be acceptable in the world. And while all of that kept you safe, it also dimmed something inside you. Now that dimness feels like life itself is losing color. Jung believed this isn't a personal failure. It's almost inevitable. We grow up in a world that constantly teaches us how to survive, but rarely teaches us how to be whole. Society celebrates productivity over meaning, appearance over depth, and comfort over growth. So we learn to play along. We post pictures of smiles that don't always feel real. We scroll through other people's highlight reels while secretly feeling like we're fading away. If you've been feeling like nothing excites you anymore, it might not mean you're done with life. It might mean you're done with this version of your life, the one that doesn't reflect who you truly are. Jung saw this inner crisis as a signal, a spiritual alarm clock ringing in your soul. And most people ignore it. They drown it out with work, with distractions, with addictions, because it's easier than facing what it really means. But here's the truth. This emptiness is trying to save you. It's trying to pull you back to yourself. You've spent years building an identity that fits the world, but it doesn't fit your soul. And when the soul is ignored, it speaks. Sometimes it whispers in dreams. Sometimes it shouts through anxiety or sadness. And sometimes it just quietly steals your joy, making life feel flat until you finally listen. It's easy to think you're alone in this, to believe that everyone else has it all figured out while you're stuck, bored, or numb. But that's an illusion. Jung believed every single person hits this point, a breaking point where the mask begins to crack. He called this the start of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming yourself. This is not a glamorous process. It doesn't look like a motivational movie montage. It often looks like sitting in silence, feeling lost, questioning everything you thought you knew. It feels like pulling apart your own life piece by piece and realizing how much of it you built for someone else's approval. But as painful as it is, this is how you wake up. What if this feeling isn't here to hurt you, but to heal you? What if it's your soul's way of forcing you to slow down, to stop numbing yourself, and to finally ask, who am I really? And what do I actually want from this life? If you've been feeling like a ghost in your own story, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your story isn't over. It means there's a part of you that still believes there's more out there, even if you don't know how to find it yet. And that part of you is the most important thing you have. You might be afraid to admit it, but there's a quiet longing in you. A longing for something real, something deeper, something that can't be bought or scrolled past. Jung believed that this longing is sacred. It's proof that your soul hasn't given up on you, even if you've been tempted to give up on yourself. So don't ignore it, don't numb it, don't drown it in the noise of the world. Listen, because that emptiness is not a void, it's a doorway. And stepping through it is the beginning of finally living a life that feels like it belongs to you. There's a strange loneliness that comes with this kind of emptiness, It's not just about being alone in a room. It's feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by people. You laugh when you're supposed to, smile when it's polite, and nod along in conversations. But deep down, you feel like you're behind a wall no one else can see. The world keeps spinning, and you keep moving with it. But inside, you feel disconnected, like you're watching life through a window. Jung believed this sense of disconnection wasn't a flaw. It was proof that your soul is awake. He saw that most people spend their lives wearing masks, blending in, and avoiding the deep questions that keep them up at night. But when your soul starts to whisper, "This isn't enough," you begin to feel that invisible wall. You start noticing the emptiness you used to ignore, and that's terrifying, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Suddenly, the things that used to bring comfort don't feel the same. The job you worked so hard for, the social life you built, even the things you used to enjoy, they start to feel hollow. That's why this stage of life feels so heavy. You're not broken, you're waking up. But waking up is painful. It's like standing in a bright room after years of being in the dark. Your eyes hurt, everything feels too sharp, and all you want to do is close them again. That's why so many people turn away. They bury themselves in busyness or entertainment. They keep running from that quiet voice inside because it's easier to stay distracted than it is to face themselves. If you've been feeling this way, I want you to know something. It takes courage to sit with that emptiness instead of running from it. Most people never will. Most people will spend their whole lives covering it up, convincing themselves this is just how life is. But if you're still here, still listening, that means a part of you knows the truth. You know you're meant for something more than a life that feels like a performance. Jung called this the call of the self, a moment when your deeper self begins demanding your attention. And here's the thing, your soul won't stop calling just because you ignore it. That's why the emptiness doesn't go away. It's not here to ruin your life, it's here to save it. What if this heaviness you're feeling isn't the end of your joy, but the beginning of something real? What if this is your soul tearing down the old structures that kept you trapped? Because that's what Jung believed. The breakdown comes before the breakthrough. The emptiness comes before the fullness. The silence comes before you finally hear yourself. And maybe, deep down, you felt this too. That quiet sense that you're meant for something deeper, that your life was never supposed to feel this numb. You've been surviving for so long, but now you're being invited to live. If you've made it this far, it means something. It means this message is for you, because you wouldn't still be here, listening, if a part of you didn't feel every single word I've said. That heaviness you've been carrying, the boredom, the numbness, the sense that life has gone colorless, isn't here to destroy you. It's here to invite you to finally meet yourself. Carl Jung believed that moments like this, the seasons of emptiness, the nights where everything feels meaningless, are sacred. They're not failures, they're thresholds. The soul has a strange way of forcing us to stop when we've been running too fast in the wrong direction. It shuts down our excitement for the things that once distracted us. It strips away the illusions we've been clinging to. It makes the world feel empty, so that for the first time, we're forced to ask, what do I truly want? Who am I really? Most people never get here. They never slow down enough to notice that something's wrong. They drown out the silence with endless noise, endless scrolling, endless shopping, endless chasing of goals that don't bring them peace. And yet, if you're feeling this emptiness, it means your soul is still alive enough to speak. It's not shutting down, it's waking up. The truth is, the things that once entertained you won't be enough anymore, because you've outgrown them. This isn't the end of joy, it's the end of a shallow version of joy. Jung believed that true meaning isn't something you stumble across like a hidden treasure. It's something you build. And this feeling you have now is proof that you're ready to start. Think about how many years you've spent living for other people's approval, for expectations that were handed to you, for dreams that weren't even yours. No wonder you feel drained. That exhaustion isn't a flaw, it's wisdom. It's your body and mind refusing to let you keep pretending. You've been living in survival mode for so long that thriving feels like a distant dream. But what if this emptiness is not a void, but a compass? What if it's pointing you back to yourself, to the things that made you feel alive before the world told you who you had to be? Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." And he was right. Waking up hurts. It feels like losing yourself, but in truth, you're losing the version of yourself that was never really you. The pain you're feeling now is the process of peeling back the layers you built to protect yourself, layers that also kept you from your truth. So if you're here, listening to these words, I want you to know, you're already doing the hardest part. You're listening. You're not running from yourself anymore. That makes you stronger than most people will ever be. And I'd like to ask something of you, not for me, but for you. If these words resonated with you, share something in the comments. Not because I need the engagement, but because someone else watching this video right now feels the same emptiness you do. And your story might be the thing that makes them feel less alone. If this message found you today, it wasn't an accident. There's something in you that's ready to wake up, ready to break free from the life you've been living on autopilot. And if you're willing, I'd like you to join me on this journey. Subscribe, not because this channel needs numbers, but because I believe you need reminders like this, that you're not broken, that you're not behind, and that this darkness you feel is not the end of your story. You are here, now, because something in you refuses to give up. That part of you, the quiet, resilient spark deep inside, is what will guide you out of this emptiness. Trust it, protect it, and never forget that this season, no matter how heavy it feels,